Hello everybody, and welcome to our block 5. Here I'm off to a great start in the new house, right? I'm already stumbling over what I'm saying. Welcome, it's Monday. We missed last week's video because we were in the middle of a move, and we are in the new house now. Not that that implies that everything is put together and awesome, but it's getting there. So we're very, very excited to be here. And so you're in the new sewing room, which you can't hardly tell other than my backdrop looks different. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about all my plans for this room. It's gonna be fun. And then in about 3 weeks, I'm gonna show you the whole room, and this will be the like pre, and then we do things, of course, I'm gonna share with you guys. Right now it is a blank canvas of nothingness except for sewing machines. So, and there's boxes and a long arm in pieces over there. And so you don't get the tour today because we really just moved in last week. But we are here, and it's probably even a little bit echoey on today's video, and I'm sorry about that. We're gonna, as more things get in the room, it will be less echoey. But this is where we are for now, and I'm so excited to be here with you guys today. I missed you guys last week. We are making up block 6 in the Wildflower Fields quilt along. So that is, it's like right in front of my head, right behind my head. It's kind of dead center between the 2 diamond blocks. That's the block we're doing today, and it's going to be a really fun one to sew up together. I am loving seeing all your blocks. If you're sewing along, make sure you share your photos. You can share them on Instagram and tag me, or you can share in my Flamingo Toe Stitch and Share Club. And if you are over on YouTube, that is linked in the video description today, so you can check that out. So before I dive in and tell you all my awesome plans for the room, let's see who's here today. Let's see, over on YouTube, Ginger Hart is here from Texas, Joella from very hot and sunny Florida. Sorry, it's been so hot there. Lancer Weasel's roasting up in Boston too. May get up to 99. That's too hot. That's crazy. Christine here, Jersey in the house. Nay, Christine. Val Earl here. Katarina's here from sunny Germany. Leslie, thank you so much, Leslie. Oh, you guys are so great. Anna asked, how large is the new studio? You know, I don't know for sure. I think we're at about 18 by 18 is what this room ended up as. I should know that, but I don't off the top of my head. So it's bigger than we were before because, excuse me, I had that staircase coming up, which was, you couldn't see it. It was behind whatever quilt I was working on. But there was kind of a staircase right up in the middle of the room because it was a bonus room over a garage. So sort of took up the whole middle back half of that room. So I lost quite a bit of floor space doing that. And the other thing is in that other sewing room that we were in, it was a bonus room. So the roof was peaked. And so the walls were only, on the sides, were only like 4 feet tall, maybe not even 4 feet tall. So now I have 4 walls, plus a bay window over there. So it's definitely roomier and nice and big and spacious. Let's see. Hey, Wendy. Oh, it's wet in New Jersey. Let's see. Wendy, we have 2 New Jerseys then, because we have Christine over in YouTube. That's awesome. Allison's here. Thanks, Wendy. She said congrats. Pam said so happy for your new house and sewing room. Thank you, Pam. Yay. Oh, thanks. You guys are the best. Dawn's here having some problems with technology. Sorry, Dawn. This is also our first stream in this room with new internet. So if you guys run into problems, let me know. I mean, I know everybody, I can't control everybody's internet, but if you guys, you know, see anything internet-wise, I think we should be fine on streaming service. We have fiber now, so which is more than we had at the other house. So we should be good as far as connectivity. So Janice is here, and Barbara. It's a very fun new space. Thank you. Yes. Laura said congratulations. Elizabeth, thank you guys so much. Lori from Pittsburgh. Hey, Lori. She's over in, and Sharon. Oh my gosh, we got so many people here today. Roxana. Sorry, I can't see. I got my computer a little further away. Susie's here. Mary Beth. Oh my goodness, you guys are the best. Okay, here's the plan. So this is my cutting table that we set up the videos on, and it's gonna pretty much stay here, though I want to put it on wheels so that I can wheel it around and get it out of the frame if I need to do a video that is a stand-up video. So I'm going to hang quilts on this wall. This will be our backdrop for our videos, and I'm going to shiplap this wall so it's got a fun sort of neutral texture to it. So I'm going to shiplap that. There'll be a quilt hanging, whatever quilt we're doing will be hanging there so that you guys can easily see what we're sewing along, and you'll be able to see, if I'm not in the way, most of the quilt, which is different than what we've been running, which is great. And then I have the coolest thing to put. There's going to be shelving displays on either side of the quilt. 2 years ago, my husband gathered up like 12 vintage sewing machines that are all old, different types of machines. And so on each side of the quilt, there will be a thin shelving display of vintage sewing machines. So how great is that? It's going to be so fun, you guys. So obviously it's going to take us a little while to get it to happen because there's lots to do around the house. But it is going to happen, and I'll be sure and show you guys progress photos every step of the way. So this is this is my cutting table. This is not where I normally sew. I have a table. I'll show you guys around, but I have a table for my main sewing machine over here. And then at this window, there's a window in front of me as well. And that is where my embroidery machine and my sashiko machine sit. And then over here is a nice long blank wall. And I'm going to put the long arm there. It is not put together yet. It came over in pieces because we wanted to move it ourselves. We just didn't trust the movers with any of the machines. Felt very protective of my babies, my baby locks. And so that's in pieces, and it'll get put together here really soon. So, and then I'm considering, because the long arm is on wheels, I can actually move it out and get to the wall behind it, and I'm thinking about putting in a design wall there. So if you guys have any tips about a really good way to do a design wall, I would love to hear them. Share them, email me, whatever you want to do. Write me a letter, and I'm definitely going to start researching all the options for that, because I think it's a nice big blank wall that I can't really put any other furniture pieces because the long arm takes up the whole thing. But behind the long arm, there's really no reason why I couldn't utilize that wall space. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, and I would love your thoughts about all of it. So anyway, it's going to be exciting. We have lots to do here, but it's so fun to be here, you guys, and it's just such a blessing to be able to look out at this view. Do you want to see the view? Do you want to see? Okay, promise me that you're not going to laugh at my table's a little bit of a mess because I'm in process of sewing a quilt. So I'm just going to hop up. I'm going to turn the camera so you can see the bay window, but know that my work desk is a mess, okay? So hang on one sec. We're going to do this. It's going to be great. Okay, I can't see you guys, so we're going to slowly turn. And again, this is a mess, but there's my pretty view out the windows. So you can see my bay window here. It's a really big bay, and you can see my regalia on the floor. So again, this is a mess because we just moved in, but that shows you my pretty window a little bit. So I wasn't intending to do that. If I had intended to do it, I would have cleaned off my desk. So you guys are the best for putting up with my my mess. So anyway, that is our excitement around here, and we have some more exciting things to share that are coming up in the next couple weeks, but I'm going to talk about those in a little bit. So things coming up. It's been really fun and busy on the blog. So right now, my newest book is called Make It Mini, and it is a book of mini quilts all with a touch of embroidery. I can't reach the camera as well, but there you go, you can see it. So there's all a touch of embroidery. You don't have to put embroidery on any of them. You can do fussy cutting, you can do applique instead if embroidery is not your jam. But if you would like embroidery to be your jam, I have video tutorials for all the stitches I use in here. You can easily find them on YouTube. There is a whole embroidery basics playlist, so you can just run down the playlist and check out the videos. But the book tour is going on right now. And if you're not familiar with what a book tour is, it's basically when an author comes out with a book, and it still feels surreal to say that I'm an author, but when an author comes out with a book, she asks often other quilting designers and friends to make up a project from the book. So it's a really, really fun way to see other people's takes on books, projects from the book. And you get to see it in different fabrics. Maybe they do different types of embroidery or applique or things like that. So it just gives all the projects in a book a completely different life. And it's just a fun way to also help spread the word about the book. So last week we kicked off on Monday. It's running Monday through Friday, last week and this week. And everybody's giving away a copy of the book. So that's super exciting. And I have linked in today's video description the roundup of everybody's posts from last week and links to all their projects. Some of their giveaways have ended because it is, they're all running their own giveaways. So not all of them are keeping them open for weeks and weeks, right? So I am hosting a giveaway on that post. So if you click over, you can see everybody's project from last week, and there were so many amazing. Every single one of them just blew me away, you guys. I hope that you got to see them. I shared a lot of them in my Instagram stories. I shared all of them in my Instagram stories and then on the blog and in my Facebook group. So I hope you checked them out and visited them and entered those giveaways. And then you can go on my site. Okay, hang on one second. We have a problem. We have a problem, Houston. Okay, one sec. Okay, y'all, sorry, this is live videos. And I forgot to plug in my laptop, so it was about to die, and that would have been just really peachy in the middle of a video. So I had to plug in my laptop really quick. This is a brand new setup, so that's my excuse. Anyway, back to the book. Make sure that you go check out that link. It's the Make It Mini blog tour week 1. Check that link out and make sure that you enter any giveaways that are still open and enter the one on my blog. All you have to do is scroll down to the bottom of the posts and enter there. And then this week it's happening as well, Monday through Friday. It's just an amazing lineup of rock stars, you guys. So many talented people. I feel very, very blessed. So if you scroll to the end of that post, you can find this week's schedule as well. So the best way to make sure that you can enter all those giveaways is to kind of keep tabs on that schedule and go visit them on the day that they are posting. So, or at least the day after. So anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying that. It's been super fun for me to see everybody's takes on the quilts and just what they're doing with the embroidery, or if they're doing embroidery. It's just been really, really fun. So I hope you guys are enjoying that too. So let's see. Okay, I want to go back. I missed a whole bunch of comments. Okay, so I'm going to squeeze this over here so I can see a little bit better. Okay, so you guys are excited about the vintage machines. Me too. I'm so excited. All right. Yay. You guys are loving it. Yes, it's a very inspirational view, Janice. She likes the view. It's very green out there. We have, we leased out our field. We have 15 acres. We leased out the land this year, and we're growing, and by we, I mean the farmer we leased it to. So we're growing soybeans this year. So it's really fun. I feel like I have a very invested interest in this crop, even though I don't, but I do. You know what I mean? It's sort of my crop. Oh, thank you guys so much. You're the sweetest. All right. Katerina says, very difficult to order the new book, but now it's finally supposed to be delivered on Friday. Well, I know how hard it is to get things. She's in, you're in Germany, Katerina, and I know how hard it is to get things overseas. So I really am glad that you were able to get it. Allison says she's excited about the book. Hers should be coming today. Yay, Allison! Woohoo! Maureen's here. Hi, Maureen. She says she loves the book and she's collecting fabric for the table topper on the cover, Sweet Orchard. Okay, you guys, there were two people last week. No, one person last week who did the Sweet Orchard, and then tomorrow, Christopher Thompson, the tattoo quilter, is doing the Sweet Orchard quilt. And you guys, it's so cute. You're gonna love what he did with the flowers and how he decorated it. It's so darling. You're gonna love it. Oh, yay. Brenda says, don't forget to like the video so the video will be seen by others. Thank you, Brenda. I appreciate the YouTube like vote. You're the best. Okay, so the other thing that we had going on in the last couple weeks is we finished up the Fat Quarter Shop Boo Crew sew-along. So it was a really fun Halloween mystery quilt that Fat Quarter Shop hosts every year. And this year it was called the Boo Crew, and all the patterns are free. So they give the 3 weeks of block patterns, and then the last week is the layout. And so here's my finished one. I'm gonna see if I can show it to you here. Oh yeah, you can see it. So it's so cute, you guys. Let's see, there we go. It's crooked, but it's a little witch's hat and the candle, and then the little wispy ghost. And then there's a broom, and I'm just stretching my arms really high here. And then there's a cauldron and that kitty. Oh my goodness, that kitty was so cute. So, and then I picked on the back this really fun text print called, so this is all Bad to the Bone fabrics except for the background. And this text print was so fun, you guys. It says boo and treats and spooky and all kinds of fun things like that. So, so this is all, the collection is called Bad to the Bone. It's out right now. It's brand new this year. And I used all of the prints from this, and even this gingham that I turned on the bias for the binding. Isn't that cute? And then the fabric, the background fabric, it's coming up in pictures and in video, kind of more of a bluish color, but in person it is kind of a teal green. It's a confetti cottons, which is Riley Blake's solids, and it's called Rainforest, if you want to look up that. This has been so fun, and this like vibrant green is really making the blacks and oranges and creams of the collection really pop. Look at the kitty again. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. Look how cute she is. So cute. So I quilted this, and you can actually see the quilting on the kitty. I quilted this on my Regalia long arm, and I used a spider web pantograph. And I can't think of what it's called now. I didn't pay attention to that before the video. So it's, if you go to my post, I've linked to it in today's video description, and I have the link to the pantograph if you want to check it out. But it's basically little webs and then these great little spiders. So these spiders you can see on the cat, that's actually the quilting, not the print. So she's got a, the print on the cat is just black with the little orange dots, but you can see those spider webs and the little spiders really good on the quilting there. So it's so cute. So it was really fun to do. And I ended up, I was struggling a little bit on what color thread, but I really kind of wanted that quilting to pop. So I used a light gray thread, and it kind of blended with all the fabrics because I had a big range of everywhere from black to white with the skeleton there, or skeleton, the ghost, and I didn't want it to be crazy either way. So I feel like this light gray really shows up well and looks super cute, but isn't too overwhelming for all the prints. So that is my Boo Crew quilt, and I'm loving seeing yours. I've seen several versions of those of you that were sewing along in the Facebook group, and you can search the hashtag on Instagram and see a bajillion different ones. They're all so fun. There's lots of different takes on it, so you can check that out, and the patterns are free for you to sew along with anytime, so join in with that. And let's see, so tea time, we're still having tea time even though we're in a new house. I wanted something summery today, so I went with the Celestial Seasonings Wild Berry Zinger, which is really fun and summery. It's good hot or iced, and you can get it by itself or you can get it in their little, they have like a fruit tea assortment pack, so it has 4 different fruit teas in it, and that's the one I buy because I like all those. So Wild Berry Zinger, I've linked to it if you want to check it out on Amazon. It's not too crazy expensive over there. I think it's 2 boxes that you have to get. I don't know why you can't just buy 1 box, but okay, you guys are loving that. Oh yay, I love it too. Janice said the kitty's so sweet, right? I kind of want to just put the kitty in a little pillow and just have her be like this spooky little Halloween kitty. Wouldn't that be so cute? Maybe with a black and white for Halloween. I think I might do that. I think it needs to happen. Oh, Christine, I think you're right. It's Along Came a Spider for my quilting. Christine, you're a genius. You're so smart. That's exactly what it was. All right, let's talk about giveaways. So 2 weeks ago, because we skipped last week because of the move, the giveaway from 2 weeks ago was a fun one. So I have my Penny Serenade quilt pattern. This one is really fun and is perfect for 2.5-inch strips, roly-polies, or jelly rolls. It just makes a really cute, there you go, you can see it a little bit better if I tilt it down. It's just a really cute, almost penny designed, kind of going up and down, and you just really get to see the fabrics of the whatever collection you're sewing with. So that comes with paper templates, but I also have acrylic templates, which are my vintage quilting templates. And this is a half hexagon and a triangle template, and makes cutting this quilt out so easy. And then to get you sewing, I have a roly-poly of Enchanted Meadow. This is my current fabric collection. It's current for another few weeks because we have another collection coming out now that it's August this month. You guys, Daisy Fields and my brand new basic Dainty Daisy come out this month. It's going to be very exciting around here this month. Lots going on. So this is 2 weeks ago, the prize, and the winner, which I do not have written down, is Pam Ward. She was watching over on YouTube. So Pam, send me your mailing address and I will get your prize out to you. And my giveaways are super easy to enter. All you have to do is leave a comment, whether you are watching live or whether you're watching later in the week. And as long as you put your name in before the next giveaway, which is usually every week, but last week there was 2 weeks in there, you're counted in that entry. And you can do it on YouTube or on Facebook, in our Facebook group. So whichever works for you, just any kind of comment about the video in general. You can tell me anything you'd like. It all counts. I prefer nice comments, but you know, they all count. So this week's giveaway is, since we're on the Make It Mini tour, I thought I would give away a copy of Make It Mini. And this is the tour book that I was just talking about. It's a really fun one, and I hope you guys are loving it. And to get you stitching, I have a couple things. So since the projects in this book are all mini quilts, I have 2 5-inch stackers, which would work for a lot of these quilts. And this is Enchanted Meadow. We're on an Enchanted Meadow theme right now. So I have 2 5-inch Enchanted Meadow stackers, and I have my colorful vintage Aurifil thread box for you. So in here are 10 spools of Aurifil floss. It's 6-strand embroidery floss, just like DMC and the other flosses that you're used to. but it comes on these great wooden spools, and there's 18 yards of it on each spool. So these spools last forever. So these colors really go great with Enchanted Meadow or any projects or anything like that. So hopefully this is enough to get you going on a really fun project from the book, and maybe you'll make something for this fall or as a gift or whatever you want to do. Make it for yourself. I don't have any problem with that. So that's this week's giveaway. So all you have to do to enter is leave a comment, and I will announce the winner next week. So let's go over our Wildflower Fields schedule just a little bit. We had some tweaking that we had to happen. Hey, Lisa. Okay, so we had to shimmy around this block 6. It was supposed to be last Monday, but now it's today. So next week will be block 7, and then the week after that will be assembly and borders. So we only have 2 weeks left in our sew along. Isn't that great? Oh my goodness, Pam says she can't wait to make something from the book. It was here when she got back into town. Yay! Oh, hey Barbara, she's here for the first time. Yay, I'm so glad you're here. That's great. Janice, you're here. It's still live. I haven't even started sewing yet. She thought she was missing the end. Susie asked if Canadians can participate in the giveaway, and absolutely, Susie, everybody, whole world, I'm happy to ship across country for that, so no frets on that. Oh, and Sharon's excited about Daisy Fields. You and me, Sharon, that is going to be so fun. There are 3 new quilt patterns coming out with Daisy Fields and 3 new quilt patterns coming out with Dainty Daisy, and I can't wait to share them with you all. So let's actually get to work and start sewing some things. Are you ready to sew? Let's move some things around and we will sew. Okay, what are we doing here? All right. So we are making block 6 here, and I'm gonna just scooch over my chair a little bit. That's cool. It's a cool noise. Again, this will all be much, much smoother when I've done this a few times in this new house. You guys are so patient with me. I had to reinvent the wheel, basically. Okay, we are going to do all sorts of fun things today. But the first thing we are going to do is we are going to make some half square triangles. And I know that we have made half square triangles with several other projects. Let me just shift this a little bit so you can see what's going on here. Nope. Sorry about the turning. I know that's not the best. You guys have made half square triangles possibly before, but we're going to make half square triangles with directional fabric. And all that means is this fabric will look one way if these stripes are going this way, or we just want the stripes all going the same way. So this kind of method works if you are doing an even number divisible by 2 of half square triangles in a block. So the center of this block is a shoe fly block, and we are going to use 4 half square triangles. So that works for this one. And what we're going to do is we're going to make this, so the half square triangles are made up from this navy and this cute little coral. So I have my navy prints turned, both of them right side up, and I'm going to take my coral, and I've already drawn my diagonal line on the coral, and I'm going to place them on top of the navy, and I'm going to place them so that the lines are opposite each other. So on this one, the line starts at the top left and goes to the bottom right. And on this one, the line starts at the top right and goes to the bottom left. So you can see those lines are opposite each other. And by doing this, it's going to make it so when we create all these half square triangles, all 4 of these, then when we cut them apart and press them and trim them, we will be able to turn them all so that all of the stripes go up and down. And that is how we make that work. So what we're going to do, I'm going to shimmy you over here a little bit more. We're shimmying a lot today. I feel like we should have some cha-cha music or something fun. I wish we could have music during our videos, but there's like licensing and different issues like that, and we don't want to get in trouble. So what I'm doing for these half square triangles is I place the fabrics right sides together, and I'm going to sew 1/4 of an inch away on each side of that marked line, just like you would with any other half square triangle. The only thing we are doing differently on these to get those lines to line up directionally is how we've aligned, boy, that's lots of lines, how we've aligned the mark line on one of the squares. So it's just an easy peasy fun little cheater method. You don't have to worry too much about your directional fabric this way. So I've sewn on each side of the marked lines on both squares. I just did that with chain piecing, so they're still kind of held together. I have a little clipper on the side of my machine, so I'm just going to clip and clip. And so now I have 2 cute little squares that are sewn. So I'm going to grab my little handy dandy small cutting board here, and I'm cutting these 2 at a time. So I'm going to place them on top of each other, and now I've got my ruler lined up with that marked line, and I'm going to cut. So that cuts apart the pieces, and now we have 4 half square triangles. So now I'm going to press, and then we'll trim. And I know that's probably an extra step for some of y'all to see. Several of you, if you've been quilting for a while, have done half square triangles before, but I just wanted to take the extra time and show you how to handle those directional fabrics. So I'm just going to press these. I'm pressing towards the darker fabric, and then we'll trim. All right, so how's everybody feeling about the fact that it's August 1st? Are you excited? Are you ready for fall? I feel like it's been hot enough this summer already. Speaking of which, it's warm in here. I feel like it's been hot enough already this summer that we've had enough summer. Like the degree of hotness has made it so that we don't need any more summer and we're ready for fall now. This is my theory. So I like to trim 2 of these at a time, and the way I do that is I nest those seams together that I just pressed. Because I pressed both to the dark side, go to the dark side, they line up really nicely, and we can trim 2 at once. So they're nestled together, and I'm going to line this up so that my diagonal line on my ruler is on that seam line, and I am trimming to 2.5 inches. So I'm just going to trim 2 sides at a time. Remember, if you do that, well, do it so that you don't wander while you're doing it. But remember, if you do that, to keep your fingers underneath the edge of that ruler so that you don't cut your fingertips off. I really don't want to be the fault of somebody trimming off their nails or worse. So I just trimmed up those 2 sides, and now I'm going to trim up these 2 sides. I'm at a funky angle here. You guys know that's hard for me. Okay, well, this doesn't want to let go. It's really very attached. Okay, so now we have two of them trimmed up, and we're going to do 2 more. And then I'll show you how we lay these out so that we have all those cute directional prints all going the same way. So here we are lining up 2 more at a time and trimming on 2 sides. I have to do like shoulder gymnastics to do it at this angle. There we go. Oh, it came undone. So I'm just going to trim this up and do these last 2 sides. Okay, so I'm going to check and see. Now I'm lining up that line again and the 2.5 inch seam marked line on my ruler. And now I have 2 more cute ones. Okay, so I'm going to set this to the side. We have little, gonna get rid of that. So for the center of our little shoe fly block, I'm going to lay these out so that they go correctly. So the pinks are going to go in the corners. So it's just a little bit of playing cards. Let me move this over so you can actually see it. Playing cards with these cute little, there we go, pieces. So you just keep turning them until all of your blocks line up with all of them, all the stripes going the same way. And it doesn't have to be vertical stripes. If you want the stripes to go horizontal, the same theory works. So you're just going to kind of place your pieces and just keep turning them until you have them laid out correctly. And that way you can lay out the center of your block. I'm putting in the background pieces now. They go right here. And then this cute houndstooth goes in the middle. So that's how you lay out that center portion of the block. All right, let's see. Oh, we have some people ready for fall. Dawn's ready. Yes, everybody's ready. Okay, I'm so glad. Lisa said her car said 109 when she went to store before the video. For heaven's sake, Lisa, where do you live? That's entirely too hot. Hi, Julie. Welcome. Well, I'm glad you're here. Okay, so now we're going to sew this together in 9-patch format. So I'm just going to sew this together the way we've done on our other videos with our other blocks. I'm picking up the top 2 and I'm lining them up and I'm going to sew. And then without cutting my threads, I'm going to pick up the next 2 and sew. I'm just going to keep going down to sew all the rows together. So I don't know if I've told you guys the story of this houndstooth print that is in Enchanted Meadow. So I'll tell you now while we're sewing. So growing up, my mom made a lot of our clothes. And of course, you knew back, like if you buy fabric for clothes, odds are you have extras, pieces left over and things like that. Here's the first 3 together. And now I'm going to open up and sew this section, these rows, pieces together onto the rows. So growing up, of course, if she made a lot of our clothes, she'd have fabric left over from her or our outfits or whatever. And so she would make either doll clothes for us or Barbie clothes, different outfits and things like that to coordinate, to use up those extra fabrics. So she had made herself this really great green houndstooth jumpsuit, polyester, of course, because that's what you made in the 70s, is polyester. And so she had made up this green houndstooth jumpsuit that she wore, and she looked so cute in it. And so because there was extra fabric, my dolls had green houndstooth polyester outfits, and my Barbies had green houndstooth polyester outfits, and on the Barbies especially, the houndstooth was quite large. So now I'm going to interrupt myself. I've got the 3 rows sewn together, held together with those little chain piecings, and I'm going to press. So when it came to, I knew some collection because I just remember that outfit of my mom so much and how much I loved it. And so I knew I wanted to make a houndstooth fabric sometime because it's just such a cute print and so iconic. You know, you can just never really get enough of houndstooth, can you? Like, it's like a plaid or a stripe. It's just a great basic. So so it worked out perfectly with Enchanted Meadow, but I always think of my mom when I'm sewing with the cute houndstooth print, because it makes me think of her green jumpsuit that she had. I don't think she still has it. I don't think she'd wear it if she did. Okay, so now I have my rows pressed, and I pressed opposite each other. Those pressing instructions are in the pattern, so you can check that out. And I'm going to flip over my rows and sew them together, and then we're going to press. And I'm nesting those seams together so that they fit together nice and tidy. And you can use pins at your seams if you would like to. If I am doing several seams at once, like if I'm sewing a row together, or even a block that has more than 2 seams to nest together, I do use pins just because it keeps everything tidier. But if I'm just doing 2, I usually don't. So now that first row and second row are sewn together, and I'm going to flip and do the same thing with the last 2 rows. sew these together, and then we're going to work on the star portion of the quilt. This block has a little bit more to it than some of the other blocks, but it actually goes together really quickly because you can see how fast, I don't know, we've done the center portion of this in 10 minutes, and that's with me chatting through the whole thing. And we only have to do 2 of these blocks in the quilt. So even though there's a little bit more detail to them, they go together pretty quickly. So here's our cute center. So we've got that fun shoe fly block I'm going to press, and then we are going to work on the outer parts, the star parts. So the rest of this block is assembled very similarly to the last few blocks. They have been star blocks as well. Look how cute that is. Isn't that darling? I love it. So I've done some of that, but I'm just going to kind of remind you guys how to do directional fabrics on a star. So I always like to lay out my pieces so that if I am using directional fabrics, I know which section I'm sewing. So is it the top, is it the sides, is it the bottom? So that when I check my directional fabric, I know which direction to check it in. So I'm going to move this down. So this is going to be the top star points of this block. So I am going to lay this on. I haven't drawn my diagonal line because I'm going to use the laser on my machine, but I'm just going to fold back my fabric and double check that, yep, my mushrooms are facing up. This is the direction that I want to sew that seam. So I'm going to sew this seam down, and I'm sewing from point to point with a diagonal line. You'll draw, if you don't have the laser on your machine, you'll draw the marked line and then sew straight on that marked line, because we're going to be doing this as a stitch and flip. So that's different than the half square triangles. Half square triangles, you sew 1/4 of an inch away from the marked line. With the stitch and flip, you sew right on the marked line. So now I'm going to trim off. I'm going to trim 1/4 of an inch away from that seam, and then we'll press. And if you check out the videos from a few weeks ago, I have a tip for you on how to make up half square triangles out of your extra pieces at the same time, so that you don't, it just takes 1 extra seam per section to have a half square triangle. So now I've got one of my star points, and I'm going to press that. And if you guys are curious, I use an Oliso iron. Here's my pretty iron. I can talk more about that later. If you ever have questions about Oliso, I really, really like their products. So I am happy to always tell you guys about that. It's not on camera a lot of the time, but that is what I'm using. So now I'm doing this same step here on this star point. I've laid out my mushrooms. I'm checking, yep, that's the angle. My mushrooms are right side up. So I am going to sew. Now, for each star point, your sides and your bottom, your mushroom pieces will be, you'll lay them on in a different direction in order to get those star points right. But that is why I recommend kind of laying out your block ahead of time and sort of doing that practice turn. It takes a little bit longer, but if you want to do your fabrics directionally, it's worth the time. Now, if it doesn't matter to you, and really these are very tiny little directional prints, if that doesn't matter to you, then I wouldn't worry about it, and I would just turn your mushrooms whichever way you want to. Or whatever you're sewing directionally. Okay, so this is our little top star piece, and through the magic of television, I have the other 3 already done. Here's this one, and this one, and this one. So they look so cute. You can see most of them there. There you go. So I've done that with each steps, and all of them, let me double check before I say that too happily, but no, yep, they're all right. All of my mushrooms are facing the right direction. Susie says she's gonna have to rewatch this. Too fast for you. I'm sorry, Susie. I'm happy to help too. You can always email me. So the last step for the corners of our piece is we are going to take our, these are the E back print pieces, and we're going to place them on the H background piece, and we're going to sew diagonally. Again, I'm going to use that laser on mine, but you would draw your diagonal line across the print fabric, and then you would sew along one side. You're going to sew this to one corner of your background fabric on that marked line. Let me get you up here. So that you are basically doing a little stitch and flip in the corner of that background piece. So here's the seam. You can see that seam right there, and we're going to trim that. This is our last trim. Let me trim this off. And now you can see we've got this cute little corner on here. So I'm going to press that. Let's see, Janice said her mom did the same thing for herself and her two sisters and her dolls. Imagine how hot the polyester would be to wear. I know, right? It would have been so hot, especially since we grew up in Arizona. So that's even worse. I think it was just so hot. Our poor dollies and my poor mom. Unfortunately, I didn't have the polyester houndstooth outfit. Thank goodness for that. Okay, so now I've got all of my little stitch and flips blocks done. I did 3 of them ahead of time, so you didn't have to watch me do all 4. But that's how this block is laid out. These little stitch and flips basically point in towards the center of the blocks, and your star blocks sort of highlight that shoe fly center. So that is the layout. Again, I'm not going to sew this all together because it just goes together in a 9 patch. You'll sew this piece to this piece, you know, you'll sew first row, second row, third row, and then you'll sew your rows together so that you can easily kind of assemble it. And if you want to check that out, I did assemble a star block on our first, it was the first second, I don't know. Look for the first star block in the series. Let me see which is the first star block. And I did sew the whole block together. On the 9 patch, it was block 1, was a 9 patch, and I did sew that one all together. So check that out if you want to see how I sewed it all together. So that is our tutorial for today. I'm gonna shimmy my camera around. You can see all my stuff here. Okay, y'all, that's our block 6 in the Wildflower Fields. Now don't go away yet because I have an important announcement to share about next week. So we have one more block in the quilt assembly part, and that is block 7, and that is the ginormous star block. And so the really cool thing about that block is it's very similar to the other blocks we've been doing. The center of that big diamond of the star is just like the diamond blocks. I'm pointing to one. No, my finger's not working the right way. That one is a diamond block. And so that's the center of the big star. And then the other star has a little bit of piecing and then half square triangles in the corners, but so it looks like a big complicated block, but it's really not. It's going to go together quickly. The thing is that my parents are moving out here, which is so exciting. We have been trying for years to get them out here, and they just sold their house last week, and the buyers want them to move quickly. So on Sunday, I'm flying to Arizona to help my mom and dad pack up, and then me and my husband are going to drive them out here, and they're going to live with us for a little while they look for a house. So it's going to be so awesome. We are very, very excited. But that means that I will not be live next Monday. Now, we will still have a video because I will record the video for you guys. So it will go up on Monday at 2 p.m. just like it normally does. I just won't be live. So I still want you to check it out. There will still be a giveaway. I'll still announce this week's winner. It's going to be great, but I won't be live. And I believe that is also what will happen for the next week, for our finishing week. There will be a video for that as well, but it won't be live. Just because I think that I think we're going to have a 3-day drive home, and I will have gotten home the day before. If it's possible to do it live, I will, but I'll have a recorded one ready to go. So plan on the next 2 videos, the last 2 videos of the series being recorded, not live. But I will still be able to check comments and respond. I will be able to answer questions and everything like that. I would much rather do live with you guys, but it's just, you know, how things are. And we're very, very excited to have my parents out here. So it's been really fun. And then over the next couple weeks, I'm going to have some announcements about our upcoming sew-along. So we have a new quilt sew-along for Daisy Fields, which is my next fabric collection. That is the Daisy a Day quilt. It is going to be, that quilt pattern's releasing in just a couple weeks, and the collection will be arriving in stores this month. I'm not entirely sure, but I believe, I talked to Riley Blake last week, and I believe it's shipping, like, I believe it's arriving in the warehouse on the 11th, and so it will start shipping to stores after that. So look for Daisy Fields in your quilt shops in the last half of October. So I believe our sew-along, assuming that all that arrives and ships appropriately, will start the last week in September. But I want to do a quilt along for a project in Make It Mini. So I want us to make a mini quilt together, and we'll do the stitching and everything. So if you have a favorite quilt from Make It Mini, let me know. You can vote in the comments and see what you would like to do. I will pick the most popular one, and we'll go from there. But I would love to see what you guys would love to sew up together for a smaller project rather than a ginormous quilt project. Not that these are ginormous, but you know what I mean. It's not like an 8-week sew-along. It'll be faster. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm so, so excited to be here with you at the new house. Make sure that you enter this week's giveaway by leaving a comment. If you missed the giveaway, you tuned in later, you can just go back and watch the video. But it was a copy of my Make It Mini book, 2 Enchanted Meadow 5-inch stackers, and my vintage, what is this called? Colorful Vintage Thread box from Aurifil. So I can't wait to see who wins that next week. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and for all the good wishes and congratulations on the house. We sure appreciate it. I will talk to you next week. Bye, everybody.